Okay, so I read an article in the Athens Banner Herald about the potential changes in the demographics of UGA due to the change in the Hope Scholarship. What can you tell me about that?
Alrighty. Well, first, to set the stage, Georgia is a growth state. We're a big state. There's over 9 million people here. So so we're rather diverse because we're one of the fastest growing states in the nation because we have a lot of job opportunities. And so the University of Georgia, being the land-grant college and being one of the largest universities in the state, we attract a significant number of those people. And now Georgia has the 5th highest number and 4th highest percentage of African Americans, and 13% of the U.S. population is Hispanic, but only about 8% of Georgia's population is Hispanic. So, but the University of Georgia tends to have a relatively smaller number than other colleges and universities in the nation of minorities. And one of the things is folks in the minority community, they tend to have lower educational attainment levels and as a result, lower incomes. And it's expensive to go to the University of Georgia. So it's problems because of the cost is why we have a lower number of African Americans and a lower number of Hispanics. But there are a concerted number of people in the University of Georgia administration that works hard every day to remedy that situation with attracting minority high school students, providing scholarship opportunities, and sort of beating the bushes to get more and more folks to come here. But the Hispanic population is quite small. Georgia has a large Hispanic population, but a lot of those are undocumented workers. So, and a lot of those undocumented workers are not here with their families. They're just single men or single women. So they leave their kids behind. And but about 9% are Hispanic. But the Hispanic population tends to have lower educational attainment level as well.
Okay, so now to the University of Georgia and how our demographics may change based on the change in the Hope Scholarship. What do you see happening? What is it now, and what do you think it may be?
Right. Okay. Well, the Hope Scholarship, of course, is based on based on merit, and so we discussed the fact that a significant number of the minority population has lower educational attainment levels and lower income. So as a result, it isn't any fact that they don't have the brain power. It's just that they aren't in that pool in the student population pool. And so, the Hope Scholarship representation tends to be quite a bit smaller, but it'll change over time. But it will change rather slowly, because those things move at the speed of a retaining wall.
Okay. Anything else you want us to know about the change in Hope and what we may? I know the article said something about how we may be going back to the way the population looked back in decades before, as opposed to now where we have a little bit more diversity.
Well, one of the things about Hope is it's based on the lottery. And of course, we've been in a recession for quite a while. And so lottery spending is usually discretionary spending. So as a result, the discretionary funds has slowed down like everything else. And but in fact, there's been discussion on other ways to fund Hope. But Zell Miller, then Governor Zell Miller, was extremely intelligent governor when he pegged the lottery to the scholarship. So it isn't like people were gambling. They were saying, well, I'll spend a little bit of money and maybe send a kid to school. So that was pretty smart thinking on his part.
Okay. So do you predict that the demographics will look very much the same or different in the next when these Hope this new wave of hope goes through.
Right. No, I will go out on a limb and predict that they'll be quite similar. Of course, they'll gradually grow over time. But if you look at a lot of the students on Hope now, one of the things too is, and this is really difficult to talk about, but a significant number of the minority population tends to come from single parent families. And most of the Hope, if you're on the Hope Scholarship, that means your mom and dad made you crack the books, and so they were on top of you. And so, but you're coming from single parent families with themselves have lower educational attainment level and lower income, so they're just not into that making the kids study and that type of thing. So it runs in generations, it runs in families. So that's one of the reasons why the Hope Scholarship tends to be predominantly upper and middle class white Georgians.
One of the other things I remember reading in the article is they said that the new restrictions say that in order to get 100% of tuition paid, you have to score a bare minimum of 1,200 on the SAT. They also said that men tend to do a little better on the SAT than women and other minorities. Do you think that will affect who we see coming and applying to UGA based on who can get 100% paid and who will get a reduction?
Oh, definitely, but it'll change. It'll change pretty slowly. I mean, that pattern has been set for quite a while, and although it changed, it hasn't changed remarkably. So it's more of the same.
Okay.